Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have a subscriber who contacted me about a week ago from South Carolina who wanted to share a couple of his encounters. This is a Dogman encounter and a flying cryptid encounter. Before we get into today's upload, a couple links. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch to help this channel to continue to grow and go. All of those links are in the description below. I also have a second channel for creepypasta, fanfiction, and scary voice acting. Stories that, well, they really don't fit on this channel. Now, if that's anything you're into, follow that link and give those stories a listen. You may just like what you hear. Now I've taken enough of your time, guys. Let's get on with today's encounter. Shall we? Alright, guys. Today I have a guest and subscriber. His name is Sailor, or that's what his friends call him, so that's what we will call him. He had an encounter in South Carolina, and he is going to share that with us today. Sailor, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Greetings from sunny South Carolina, people.
So, you had an encounter that just happened out of nowhere, like most do. I'm going to give you the floor, my friend.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
Well, this started 2 years ago. I was working at a construction site just outside of Jedburgh, South Carolina, down in a wooded area where they were building some industrial parks. So some of the land was cleared, but most of the land was wooded. My job was the security guard on site. I worked alone, worked 8 hours from 6 o'clock in the evening all the way up into the morning, sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock, depending on how long they needed me to stay there. My job consisted of me having to make rounds around the perimeter of the construction site. I had to have pre-scheduled points I had to check with the wand just to make sure that I made my rounds. And I made the rounds roughly every hour to hour and a half. It was about around 2 in the morning. I'm making my rounds around the building. Everything is pretty much going well. It's just a regular boring night. And I'm coming around the north side of the building where they constructed the big bay doors. Most of the building's still open, but they still had that section up. They had string up pretty much electrical lights there so you can see around in there pretty good. And as I'm making my way up to the ramp where the big bay door is, I hear a commotion inside, some of the equipment, tools and stuff got knocked over, like a big tool chest. And I'm not knowing exactly what's going on. Normally unarmed, but I've learned from other sites that there's a good chance it could be a bear or something like that. So I went get in my car, grab my 9mm pistol because I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Right.
As I'm making my way up the ramp, I see this form inside the door. I say, it is big. I was like, that's a rather large bear. And as I'm halfway up, roughly about 20 feet, it sort of steps out into more of the light. And I'm basically looking up at a 8.5-foot tall nightmare in my mind. It didn't make any overt moves towards me. It just looked at me.
Now, how close were between what was the distance between you two?
20 feet.
20 feet, all right.
So I'm looking at it, it's looking at me, and I think we are looking at each other like that for a good 30 seconds. And the whole time I'm thinking in my mind, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, the real oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. My daddy was right, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. My mama was right, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. So, in my mind, military training kicked back in. I'm not prepared for the situation. Best to make a tactical withdrawal. So while I got my eyes on it, I slowly began to walk backwards. And the whole time, it is watching me. Not making any overt hostile moves. It is just watching me. And when I get to where my car is, I get inside. It was already cranked, and I peel out of there like I'm burning rubber.
Right.
To the far end of the property. And I'm just sitting there basically hyperventilating. I'm a big guy. I've seen military action and some combat, and that scared me. I don't scare easy, but that scared me.
Oh, I can imagine. Can you give us a brief description of like color, height, weight, possible? Did you see teeth visible, tail, anything?
Well, it was about 8.5 feet tall because the bay door had some notches on it, so I knew it was 8.5 feet tall for the notch part. Dark brown in color, basically looked like a gorilla on steroids. It face sort of like there's some intellect there. Like it's not some dumb animal. Like it's knowing what it's doing.
Right.
And this whole demeanor was, I'll do you no harm if you do me no harm. And it pretty much went on its way after it got out of the building and went back into the woods. But it stayed around there in that area for a few days because I noticed like one of the other contractors that I would work with who would do like electrical wiring, he would sometimes stay almost to around 2 o'clock, and he would normally stay late. But after I had my encounter, I noticed that when I came in the next time, he was getting out of there at 6 o'clock. He did not want to stay late anymore. And he never said why he didn't want to stay late anymore. He just made us an excuse. He keeps making excuses why he never wanted to stay late. I'm thinking he saw it too.
Right, absolutely. So what was in the building for it to, I mean, what was in that area that it was making a ruckus in?
Well, sometimes the workers who work the site, they bring their lunch. You know, like sometimes people don't exactly get ready with their trash like they normally do. So you got leftover food here, leftover food there, piece of burger there. It's like it would track anything. It was like a free source of food for it.
Okay.
Like you got like leftover sandwiches, chips, all types of stuff that just scattered. So it was just using that building as a convenient food source.
Right. Almost just like its own little convenience store.
Yeah.
So now it didn't make any advances towards you, so you were very lucky on that. Did it show its teeth or make any noises?
It just pretty much stared. It just like had this calm demeanor about it, like I was technically not a threat to it and considered, I would say.
Right.
Like I'm bigger than you, I'm tougher than you. If I want to hurt you, I can hurt you, but I don't want to hurt you.
Definitely. That is terrifying. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know how I would react. I don't think I would react as calmly as you, with the instinct kicking back into, slowly back away. That's, wow.
I had to credit my father for that, because my father, he was a retired park ranger, and he taught me about the wildlife, and he also said to me, there are other things out there other than regular animals. And he would never go into detail about it, but he was letting me know, like, you might one day encounter something that people say does not exist.
Right. Now, the woods around this area where you're working, pretty deep woods?
It's very deep woods. I mean, this woods slowly connects up to where where big state forest is.
Yep.
And that goes all the way to the coast. I mean, it's miles and miles upon miles of forest, crisscrossed by streams and swamp, and just plenty of water. The low country of South Carolina is like one of the biggest watersheds in the
That's what I was just, that was going to be my next question is, was there a good source of water around? So yeah, you definitely answered that. So it pretty much, it was in its glory where you're located, and, it's got food, it's got water readily available, woods, hiding areas. Jesus, it never ceases to amaze me, any encounter. How do you think it got in the building?
Well, the other side of the building was open, so all they had to do was just walk in.
Okay.
There wasn't a wall up there technically, so you could just stroll right on in.
That is interesting. So they had a security guard guarding one section, and then the other section was open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that big deal is they didn't want nobody to come there and like steal equipment.
Right. Wow. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your encounter. Trying to think of something. You have now, you said your dad was a park ranger and he shared that with you, like there was other things out in the woods as well?
Yes, he did. He retired as a park ranger. He was a park ranger for the late 50s up into the mid 70s.
Wow. So he's definitely seen something, just never let you know what he saw. I mean, for someone to come out and say something like that is, that kind of gives you, hey, I know what's out there, but I'm really not going to tell you because it'll probably scare the living bejesuses out of you. So
it also explains a lot of stuff that he was not big on camping, even though he spent a lot of time in the woods.
Right.
He said, "Don't go camping." The ex-wife said, "Don't go camping." Ever.
Yeah.
If you go in the woods, take a gun.
Yeah, most definitely. You should always be prepared, Boy Scout motto, and you're never over prepared with whatever you take in the woods if you're going out with a firearm. So well, I truly appreciate you coming on. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with the group today?
Yes, sure. It pretty much hasn't been the only encounter with a cryptid I've ever had. A few years earlier, back in 2007, I did encounter something else. It wasn't a ground-based cryptid, but it was a flyer.
Really?
Yeah.
In South Carolina, too, as well?
Yep, in South Carolina.
You want to get into that a little bit with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I was still working as a security guard, but I was working less years than when I had just started. And I pretty much still had my arms certification. And it started pretty much the week before the incident happened. There was this thing that was going through the area, and it was airborne, and it would scream. I mean, it would make an unholy, loud scream. I mean, like, almost like a wailing almost. Just flying over my house, through the fields, across the forest, over the way my neighbor's property was. It would circle around, and it would do that between 12 o'clock and about 3 o'clock at night. And it kept doing that, and I was talking with my neighbor. He's passed now. He would say, like, something is eating his dog food, because he had a lot of dogs. He had some pit bulls and some other dogs there. And something would come, scare the dogs, eat the food, and leave. He thought it was a coyote. Well, when I told him what I heard, I said, like, no, it can't be a coyote unless a coyote got a jetpack on.
Right.
Because it was circling, and they kept doing that around the same time. But then when it got time for me to go back to work, I'm heading outside to my car because back then I had a fence, but I had parked outside the fence because it was convenient. And I'm walking out, and then I hear this screaming, and it's coming from the north. And I'm looking around because I got a security light, but that area pretty much you can't really see good because the light doesn't come that far. And this thing's coming in close. It is coming in close. And then I get a glimpse of something coming right at me, and I ducked down, hit the deck into almost prone position, and it flew over me. And when it flew over me, it was like trying to get back its wing speed because I guess it missed. And it was trying to get back to a decent air height.
Right.
And I raised up with my service pistol and fired 3 shots in it. Know I hit it at least once because it made a sort of a pain scream, and it flew off and left a small blood trail. But for what I saw of it, it was big. It was 10-foot wingspan, large, robust hind claws, and pretty much talons on it that would make a tiger cry. They were big. And this thing, the weirdest thing about it, it didn't have feathers. It had like leathery type wings, almost like a bat.
Right. You know, what's that there's I forget, and I'm bringing it up. Hopefully some subscribers might know, or you might know. There's some sort of flying cryptid. I'm not well versed on the flying cryptids that live in the southern region of the country, and it's said to resemble like a pterodactyl. And it's it's going to come to me right after I upload this too. But was that pretty much kind of like the outline? Large wings, 10 feet wings, you said. Was there,
Yep.
Could you see any feet or legs? Was there like a humanistic legs, or was it more like shorter legs?
The legs were shorter. The legs looked like something that would be on a large bird of prey, only with no feathering around it.
Right. Yeah, what the heck is it called? It's going to drive me insane too. That's insane. That's it. So that encounter happened, and you saw it, and it just, as soon as it happened, it just pretty much dissipated as well.
Yes, it. We stopped hearing it like pretty much a day later.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it literally had killed one of my neighbor's dogs. I guess like the meanest one he had there, challenged it, and the thing pretty much grabbed it and took off with it, and he found the dog further in the woods, torn apart.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This
is a 90-pound dog, and it took off with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's
power.
That's definitely not a bird of prey that is, around this region, in America. I don't even think eagles or condors could pick something that large up. So, now how close was this encounter to the one with the Dogman? In proximity.
This is about 40 miles different, because this happened right in the Santee area, the way I live. And,
Okay.
And the one with the Bigfoot happened down in the Jedburgh, Somerville area, in between Jedburgh and Somerville itself.
That is definitely interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to start getting a little more versed on the flying cryptids, because I just, for the death of me, I cannot remember the name of it, but it's said to resemble a pterodactyl, and be large wingspan, about what you described, and attack smaller animals that it can carry. I believe it's said to attack human beings when they go up into their region. But that's crazy. That is, I really appreciate you sharing that encounter with us. Now you just opened a whole new door for me, because now I'm just going to be looking at flying cryptids as well.
Yep. I've did some research. I ain't the only one that's seen it. They've been seen all over the state. Normally they be in like the upstate where the mountains is, but every now and then they trickle down to my area.
Right. Probably looking for food, or easy access to food. anything that's readily available for them to get without being seen, hopefully. So
Yeah.
well, I appreciate you sharing these two encounters with us. Now you're not doing security anymore, are you?
Oh, I still do security because, well, I found it's the one job that is recession proof.
Yeah, you'll always have a job in security. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on today. I wish you nothing but luck, and I hope you stay safe during, your night job. Hopefully you don't see any more cryptids. I would have been terrified the first one. I don't know how you maintained your cool. I mean, till the end when you got into your car and took off like that. That would be me the whole way.
I couldn't freak out. Gunny would be mad at me.
Right.
You called me from Florida to like, why did you freak out, sailor? I trained you better.
Yeah.
Yes, Gunny.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate you coming on, and if you want to say a little piece to everybody before we let go, here's your chance.
Yeah, sure. Glad I was able to share my story with y'all. And if I give any word of advice to people, is that if you're going to go into the woods, 1, be armed. 2, do not drink in the woods. That just leaves your perceptions down and makes it easier for something to sneak up on you. And 3, take care of nature. Don't abuse it. Treat it like it's your own home and enjoy it.
Right on. That was some great advice. I seldom think about that because I don't drink myself, but a lot of people do, while they're out camping and stuff, and their sense of awareness is hindered then. Thank you for bringing that one up. I really appreciate that. So, with that, guys, Sailor, thank you for coming on, and I hope that you have a great day, and this should be uploaded a little bit later on today.
Sure thing. God bless.
All right, God bless, my friend. All right, guys, if anybody can remember what that flying cryptid is, I know the Thunderbird, some variations have feathers, some have leathery skin like a dinosaur. This one cryptid keeps slipping my mind. It lives in the Appalachians, and it's a flying cryptid, resembles a pterodactyl. If anyone can shed some light on that, I'm not really familiar with all of the flying cryptids. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. I possibly may have a narration upload a little later today, and definitely tomorrow I'm going to be talking with Luke. So I want to thank everybody again, and farewell.